One of the strangest ideas in English learning is that fluency means speaking quickly. It doesn't. In fact, some of the most fluent English speakers speak quite slowly, particularly in villages and pubs. Welcome back to Kelsy. One thing we often notice here in the village is that many visitors believe they must speak quickly to sound fluent. So they begin to push words out faster and faster, while their brain quietly collapses behind the conversation, which is understandable. But fluency is not speed. Real fluency is comfort. When people become nervous speaking English, they often try to compensate by speaking faster. Unfortunately, this usually creates more mistakes, more panic, worse pronunciation, and less confidence. Meanwhile, native speakers are often perfectly comfortable with pauses. Good conversation has rhythm, not speed. There are moments to think, react, smile, pause, interrupt yourself, change direction completely, which British people do remarkably often. If you listen carefully to real English conversation, you will notice something surprising. Native speakers pause all the time. They forget words, restart sentences, change ideas halfway through, lose track completely. Sometimes we begin speaking without any clear idea of where the sentence, so you see I did it, is actually going. This is especially true after the second pint of beer. Real fluency is not speaking perfectly, speaking quickly, or using difficult vocabulary. Real fluency is feeling comfortable enough to communicate naturally. That means pausing naturally, listening naturally, reacting naturally, speaking without fear, even if your English is imperfect, especially if your English is imperfect, because all human conversation is imperfect. Interestingly, slightly slower English often sounds more confident. Why? Because calm speech usually means clearer pronunciation, better rhythm, more natural intonation, and less panic. Fast speech often sounds nervous. Calm speech sounds comfortable. And comfort is what listeners respond to, not speed. English conversation is not a race. You are not trying to defeat the other person before they finish their tea. Conversation is cooperative. It's social. It's shared thinking. And most people genuinely prefer talking with someone calm and relaxed, rather than someone desperately attempting to sound impressive. A very important moment happens during language listening. When you stop trying to perform English and start simply using English. That is usually when real fluency begins. Not because your grammar suddenly becomes perfect, but because your fear slowly disappears. And confidence changes everything. Anyway, thank you for spending a little time with us again here in Kelsy. And remember, you do not need to sound fast, to sound fluent. You only need to sound comfortable enough to be yourself. Until next time, take care.